Hello, so today we're going to talk about the USA subpar regulations and how they can be way better for food and our products that we use on our everyday basis. So basically, we are eating and living with toxins every day. And there's just so much that can be improved upon within developing countries like the United States. So you may be surprised to hear that United States is, although a leading, well-developed country, has among developed countries the worst regulatory requirements for managing toxins and chemicals within our food and our daily used products. So our food products like cooking oil, cereal, canned goods, and juices all have a lot of toxins and way more than you would expect. Our daily use of products like shampoo or conditioner, face wash, cleaning products, or drinking water, they all have toxins that can be way better regulated than they are. And so this may be surprising to you because we all grow up in, a developing country or a country with laws and regulations, and we just simply expect that all these products we're using have way less toxins than they actually have. But, even in the United States, things that we're using every day are not kid friendly. They are not free of toxins. And for example, our cereals that we're feeding our children do have processed additives and toxins inside them, or high levels of sugar, or a lot of carbs, and they're just not very healthy for us to consume, but we feed them to our children anyway. So this is just one aspect of how our regulations could improve. And with regards to cereal, oftentimes these additives and processed toxins within the cereal will be causing way more harm than they're worth. And so we've all seen food drives that collect canned goods and give them to the homeless to feed our poor. But in reality, do you know what is inside these cans? Are they actually healthy for you to consume and eat? In actuality, they're not healthy. So there's a lot of additives. They have unhealthy levels of sugar and substances inside them, unhealthy carbs, and they're not regulated very well. So in reality, the things that we're collecting and spending all this time to give to the poor is actually harmful to anybody who consumes them. They're just not healthy. They're very processed, they're under-regulated, and the contents are just not good for you to consume, in general. Just there's way better options, especially in 2023. So, if I was living in an apocalypse, I wouldn't mind eating a few canned food goods, but, today we have so many options for healthier foods that are free of additives, organic, and don't have all these different toxic chemicals inside them. So, these are the types of foods that we should add into our diet, not canned foods, because there's just an excess of sugar, carbs, and additives and, processed toxic chemicals inside them. And so why do our canned goods have an excess of processed additives, toxins, sugars, and other substances? Regulatory bodies in the United States, they do not have strict enough requirements to enforce, measuring, monitoring, identifying what level of each substance is too much for the food item or product that we're considering. And so, even if regulation lists that a certain quantity of a toxin is allowed, in the United States, we do not maintain enough resources or personnel to monitor that these regulations are actually being followed. And so, even when we find known lapses where the company fails to ensure these maximum quantities that are, implemented, uh, we're just not able to even handle enforcement of ensuring that the companies are doing the right thing, that the companies are not having too many sugars, carbs, and additives inside these canned goods. And so the reality is we just don't have enough people to enforce the regulations that we even have on these different food items which we're consuming in society, and it's just not good. So the US legal system will require years just to enforce a fine, a penalty, or a change to how that company manufactures and distributes that food item and that daily used product or that shampoo. So we all know that, if there was a problem with a company and they included in this cereal too many toxins that are above the required limits set by the regulator, like EPA or any other regulator, FDA. And so the reality is, if this item has toxins that are not in allowable limits, and the regulator finds out and, sues the company, this lawsuit is going to take several years for it to just play out. And then even once the problem is realized and the suit is filed, it's going to take several years for us to actually find a decision by a judge to basically determine that a wrongful action was actually occurred. And then even once the decision has been made and we know, okay, this company did something wrong, we need to fix it, and this is what you're going to do to fix it. Even then, the company is going to have a certain amount of time to implement a resolution. And so overall, we can end up going through this big chain reaction of countless years just to fix a toxic chemical, additives, processed food, issue in our current system. Just enforcing the issue is going to take years. So in reality, what should you do? So one may call me crazy, but I created an Excel document once that summarizes like all the toxins that we should avoid in our healthy, food items that we want to eat. And yes, this was a very timely adventure that I would reflect upon and not recommend because, how long it took. It just wasn't convenient to access this Excel document list of all the toxic chemicals in our products. And to implement this list, it just was really difficult. So, instead of, creating something like that's really a geeky tool to monitor what toxins are in what item, there's actually an app for that. And, my new favorite app is called Yuka. That's Yuka. It is a very amazing app that you could easily download for free and use it on the go to identify whether each item just scanned by the barcode has toxins and the level of toxicity from a scale of 1 to 100, which is super easy to use. And they even describe it more in layman terms where we'll say, the product that you're scanning is, it's very poor, has lots of toxins, it's bad, it has even more toxins, or it's good, or it's excellent and has very minimal toxins and is pretty good for you overall. So the reality is you can literally go to your local Walmart and scan every item in all the different aisles and find out that, what products have toxins in them. And it can just be super easy just using the Yuka app. So at the market, I literally went and scanned every coffee creamer available at our local Walmart. And I only found that literally all of them were at a 32 level or worse, and that they were all pretty bad by that designation. So why in the year of 2023, can you walk down the Walmart aisle and not find anything free of toxins that are, good to eat and consume? Why can't we find these food items without toxins? This, should almost be a crime. Like we can see we understand what toxins are bad for us. And so why are we still including them in all of these products that we're not just using every day, but we're eating every day? We're consuming these items. These are going into our bodies. So, it should be a crime to allow all of these toxins into these products without regulating them a little bit better. We can do way more as society, and that's all I'm trying to say. So, why in the year of 2023 can we not find food items without toxins? So, I am kidding a little bit, but seriously. So we know what is bad. And at this point, why is the United States so far behind at minimizing these toxins within the things that we eat? So the US lifespan is, in decline currently, according to the data at Our World in Data.org. The US life expectancy is going on an upward trajectory overall, but then most recently, in the most recent years, it's gone down. Yes, it could be partially affected by COVID, but in reality, there's a lot of things that the United States can improve upon, and not just the US, but just, all the different countries around the world, whether you're developing or developed. We all can, remove more toxins from the everyday items that we used. And so if you want to live a long, healthy life, then, you may have to move to a country with less toxins in our everyday products and our everyday food items. So, for example, Japan, a lot of the different countries in Europe, they have, a higher life expectancy than we have here in the US. And in my thought process, I think our life expectancy would be a lot higher and closer to the countries like Japan and certain European countries if we just simply regulated and consumed less toxins in our everyday life. And so the United States regulations and regulators, I think, have failed us. They can do more. And if you wish to live a long, healthy life and take matters into your own hands, know that food and products overseas may be best for you if you're trying to avoid consuming and interacting with toxins in your everyday life. So, find brands with the least amount of toxins, and whether this is within the United States or whether it is, from overseas, stick to the companies that are innovative and proactive and always becoming healthier and safer and looking to, be environmental, be innovative, reduce toxins, and, use technology to improve. And so really make sure that you find the right companies to buy your products from. And, a simple, easy thing that I started implementing, like maybe a year or two ago was, I would, go to Amazon and I'd find my products, and then I would literally check what country manufactured that product, because I know that certain countries just have stricter standards for toxins. And so the reality is, if you choose your country wisely, you could actually ensure that you're getting a product with less toxins. And, this is great, fine and dandy for shampoos and conditioners and soaps. But like when it comes to food items, it is just crazy the amount of toxins and the additives and the processed things that we're consuming. And so really just be careful with where you're getting the products that you're getting for your daily life. So, why are we like feeding our child and our babies and our, homeless, all of these toxins within, cereals and canned goods and other items, or lathering them up with this toxic soap? We should, do a little bit better job of reducing the toxins in our food and in our environment and the products that we're using. And so, these toxins, they do affect your lifespan, they do affect your body, and they do affect your health. And they will affect a child way more than they will affect a adult. So why, when the children are of such a young, youthful, sensitive age, are we introducing them to all these toxins? It is recommended to just, put a little bit more caution and care into the products that you're purchasing for your children and babies and individuals who are young and still developing. And, for that reason, toxins should just be better regulated, better enforced, better implemented in manufacturing products and in our food, agricultural markets as well. And yes, it's great to, try to say that the government has kind of not been doing all of the things that they can do more. But in reality, whatever the situation we have, we must do our best with the situation we are provided. So in reality, it is a good idea for us to, improve our regulation, our laws, all of these things, our enforcement and monitoring the companies to make sure that they're really doing the right thing. But as a individual resident of any country, it is also important that we are, knowledgeable, and we take action to do the best that we can to ensure that our children are living their best lives and their healthiest lives with the least amount of toxins. And so live your life knowledgeably and pave a path that is better for yourself and for your children and for future generations as well. So if you wish to eat healthier and gain insight into the products that I enjoy, feel free to follow me on my YouTube channel, and also know that all of these videos are actually created in response to my writing on medium.com. So I would love for you to check out my articles and see all of this content in writing if you enjoy reading as well. You can find me on medium.com under Alyssa Maheen, and if you have some interesting, unique thoughts about this topic and how regulators can do more, and we want more laws in place that are stricter to manage, the toxins that are in our everyday life. Or, if you have a tip or an app that's useful with regards to this topic, feel free to comment down below. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.